three words for you. Eddie Van Halen. The man we honor tonight as our first ever guitar god is a musical genius. He is a virtuoso. He took the instrument of Les Paul, Muddy Waters, Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, and Jimi Hendrix, and somehow made it even more electric. Right from his very first eruption, Eddie's dazzlingly fast, endlessly melodic style blazed the trail for a million future guitarists. They all tried to follow Eddie's two-handed tapping, his effortless hammer-ons, and his artful pull-offs, and wondered aloud, how the hell does he do that? Someone once asked Eddie Van Halen if he ever took formal guitar lessons, and he said, no, that's why I do all this crazy stuff. You only have 12 notes, do what you want with them. And Eddie did exactly that. He did what he wanted with his own two hands, and in a flash, the rest of the listening world wanted what he wanted to. Men have always loved the guitar, but when Eddie started to play, this suddenly became a love reborn. And because Eddie dreamed of making the ultimate sound, he even dared to mutate every guitar he ever loved. And in the process, he gave us the enduring vision of monstrous sonic beauty, the Frankenstrat. There are brilliant musicians who play by the rules, and then there are the true revolutionaries who just make up their own. Here's a look at the track record of a rock and roll revolutionary, Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie changed the face of guitar, period. I don't think anybody's had as much an influence. I know this is probably a cliche, but since Jimi Hendrix, it was like every kid on the block was learning Van Halen licks. It was ridiculous. And as far as for me, it was in between all the technical prowess that Eddie had, there was a killer blues thing, which everybody that emulated it, but nobody ever got it. Nobody ever got that part. They had the hammer-ons, they had the tremolo bar stuff and all that kind of crap, but they never got the most important thing, was all the really tasty stuff that was in between, and just like some of the melodic stuff where the soul was coming from. Yeah. And so everybody in town had to learn how to play like Van Halen for eons after that, and that's just the way it was. So I mean, he contributed a lot, but you really have to get into every record and every solo and just start making, because there's a little statement there and everything. I just think all around it was shot in the arm for guitar.
It was just beyond mind-blowing. I mean, you know, just hearing, like, going, and especially the tap, I go, that can't be a guitar. What is that? You know, and then, you know, now, you know, you hear the phase 90 on it now, and, you know, the effects and the delay and everything, just the whole 9 yards. It was just, like, beyond mind-blowing.
It sounded like nothing I'd ever heard before. It sounded like aliens or something coming out of that room. I thought it was the best thing I'd ever heard in my life.
I think sound is as important as if you want it to be reproduced to enhance what you're playing, you know, it has to sound a certain way. There's a time and a place for a clean sound and everything. I use many different sounds, but over the top, it's definitely got to go to 12, so to speak. I like it to sound like it's basically dying, and then back it off a tad.
Right.
You know?
On the brink of
Yeah.
of
No, I've
collapse.
pretty much been known to push everything past the limit.
For sure.
And back it off a little bit, you know? It's kind of like a finely tuned race car, you know? They push everything to the limit. It's got to scream.
Mean Street off of Fair Warning, just because I think that riff is like so signature and so memorable and so dark and rowdy at the same time. And it's just, that was one of the first, you know, riffs that made me want to play guitar. I wanted to figure out how to make something sound like that, and how to make a, you know, make it growl like that one does.